Welcome to the third video on our fifth session on measurements and converting units. And last time, in our last video, we simply saw how to convert a larger unit, a complex larger unit into a smaller unit. And this is the problem that we were going through. What was the problem? What if you have to convert 5 kilometers into millimeters? There will be too many steps. There'll be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 steps that you have to do in order to convert these units of length. To convert 5 kilometers into millimeter, you'll take a lot of time. But now there is a simpler way. And let us think of the example that we did in the second video, I believe, right? We converted meter into decimeter, 5 meters into decimeter, and there were 2 steps, right? Let me just tell you. So one of our problem was 5 decimeters is how many? 5 meters. I'm sorry. Let's just do this part again. So we had this problem 5 meters, and I'm talking about this particular problem down here, which we've solved already. 5 meters is how many centimeters. I'm talking about this problem, not this. Sorry. And here I'm talking about this problem here, this problem. 5 meters is how many centimeters. And how did we do this? We converted meters into decimeters, and then the value that we got 50 decimeters there. And then we converted 50 decimeters into centimeters, which was like 500. So 2 steps there. But I think there is an easier way out. And let me teach you. So what is the conversion factor to convert? Let's say, let me just rub this. So what is the formula that we make use of? So let's say again the problem is the same. We have to convert 5 meters into centimeter. What is the formula? Value of the larger unit times conversion factor. So there is an even easier way, and I'll tell you why that is. So rather than completing the first step, rather than solving the whole step, I only want you to now find the conversion factor for these 2 steps. What is the conversion factor for between meter and decimeter? If you have to convert meter to decimeter, or what is the relationship between the two? How many decimeters are found in 1 meter? There are 10, right? So this is the conversion factor for this step. And what is the conversion factor to convert decimeter to centimeter? How many centimeters make up 1 decimeter? So this is the conversion factor for the second step. How many? Can you think? How many centimeters make 1 decimeter? So the conversion factor here is 10, because 10 centimeters are found in 1 decimeter, right? So these are the conversion factors for this particular step, right? Now, in order to solve 5 meters is how many centimeters, rather than performing 2 steps, we can do 1 simple step. You simply multiply the 2 conversion factors, because you have to convert from meter to centimeter. How many conversion factors are there? There is conversion factor 1 here, conversion factor 2 here. So you got the value what? 10 and 10. So what we do, we multiply both of them. We say 10 times 10, right? So we multiply the conversion factors, and what do we get? We get 100. And this is our conversion factor for meter to centimeter. 100 is the conversion factor to convert a meter into a centimeter. I hope you've understood how we got 100. And now we will simply use the formula VL times CF here. What is the value of the large unit here? 5. We multiply this by the conversion factor. And what is the conversion factor to convert meter into centimeter? Well, 1 meter has 100 centimeter, and we've found this here. This is the conversion factor, 100. So let's write this down, 100. And what do we get? 500. So rather than performing these many steps that we did in our previous video, we can simply perform this simple step by finding the correct conversion factor and converting a more complex unit into a simpler unit. I hope you've got this particular idea. Now what we are going to do is we are going to do a few more examples, but in order to do that, first of all, I will have to clear up my screen, and let me clear up my screen. And then we are going to do let's do 3 or 4 more examples where we are going to convert some more difficult units, right? Or rather complex units. And then we'll proceed further. Just give me a teeny weeny bit so that I clear up the screen. And here we have this screen, right? So let's take some examples for ourselves. Let us say I would like to convert meter into millimeter. Let's do this. Let me do one more. Let us convert a hectometer into centimeter, right? So let's just take these 2 complicated examples, and let's take one more. Let's take converting a kilometer into a millimeter. Okay. Now we have these three examples. So example number 1, convert 3 kilometers into millimeters. This one here. So first is done. Okay, so let me just rub and make it a little neat and clean for us. Okay, now let us take another example. Let us this time convert a hectometer into centimeters. So the second example we are going to do is, let us convert 10 hectometers into centimeters, right? And let's take another example, which is the third and the last example that we are going to do. Let us try to convert meter into millimeters. And let's take the third example here, which is, let's try to convert, let's say 7 meters into, we said millimeters, okay, and millimeters. And now we are going to use the last method that we learned. Now, the formula for converting a large unit to a small unit, what is the formula? VL times CF. What is VL here? Value of the large unit. What is CF? Conversion factor. So the simplest way is to find the conversion factor, the simplest method, and that is what we are going to follow, right? So here we go. Conversion factor. Let me just write this down. So solving the first problem. Let's solve the first problem here. 3 kilometers is how many millimeters? Let's write down. 3 kilometers equals to dash number of millimeters. Now, what is the value of the large unit? 3. Because kilometer is much larger than millimeter, so we write 3 times CF. Now we have to find the conversion factor. How many millimeters are found in 1 kilometer? How many millimeters are found in 1 kilometer? And let's go up. And it's going to be easy. And let's just find out how many. So rather than converting 1 kilometer hectometer, converting then those values of hectometers into decameters and those to meters and those values to decimeter, let's not do all of that. That is too long. And let us simply look at the conversion factors. So what is the conversion factor to convert millimeter into centimeter? If you have to convert centimeter into millimeter, what is the conversion factor? 10, right? Because 10 millimeters make a centimeter. What is the conversion factor for centimeter to decimeter? 10, because 10 centimeters make up 1 decimeter. What is the conversion factor for decimeter to meter? It is 10. What is the conversion factor for meter to decameter? It is 10. What is the conversion factor for decameter to hectometer? 10. And hectometer to kilometer? 10. Why are these conversion factors? Because 10 hectometers will make up 1 kilometer. So we have written the conversion factor stepwise. If you wish to convert a kilometer into a millimeter, simply do this. So this is, let me write this in the right place. Just give me a moment. Let's just reduce the area size. And let's write this in the correct place. So this is 10 here. So this is conversion factor 1. Let's call this conversion factor 2, conversion factor 3, conversion factor 4, conversion factor 5, and conversion factor 6. So we got 6 conversion factors. And what you have to do, if you have to convert kilometers to millimeter, you will multiply 10, which is the first conversion factor here, with conversion factor number 2, which is 10, conversion factor number 3, which is 10, conversion factor number 4, which is 10, with 10, which is conversion factor number 5, and the last conversion factor, which is 6, 10. So let's multiply this. And what do we get? 10, 10's a 100, 10's a 1,000, 10's a 10,000, 10's a 100,000, 10's a billion. So let's just write this down. So what value do we get? We get 1 with how many zeros? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 zeros. So this is our conversion factor to convert to convert a kilometer to a millimeter. This is the conversion factor to convert a kilometer into a millimeter. And so let's just write it down. 3 times 1. And what is the conversion factor? 1, 10, 100,000, 10,000, 100,000, and a million. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 zeros. And the value is 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 zeros. So this is 3 million millimeters. 3 kilometers is 3 million millimeters. I hope you've got this first example. I will solve 2 more examples with you in the next 2 videos.